Is going on YouTube? I'm up here early in the morning to talk about X-Men 97.
Holy moly. Alright. I don't think they can top what they did for episode 5. Episode 6 was still good. Episode 7, starting to get a little depressed. And then, at the end, holy crap. We gotta talk about it. If it's first time here, make sure you push that subscribe button, push the thumbs up, and the bell notification wherever we go live so you guys can join the live streams. That's why we're doing a live chat. I'm just watching Heavy Spoilers do his little review of the episode, like he usually uploads early before everybody else. Literally, I have no idea how these guys do it. These Heavy Spoilers, the show comes out at midnight, and it is 3:30. So he'll get something done within 3.5 hours, or even 3 hours, maybe even 2.5. I don't know if he gets like the copies first before everybody else, but it seems like all like the big YouTubers that do all these reaction reviews and everything like that get like first dibs. Okay. Whereabouts are we? Oh, we're in the sewers, eh? What a crazy episode, though.
What's the point in paying the guild for protection when they pull back all their crews? There's a bloody army coming.
Alrighty. Bartender.
Before you ask, I ain't got none of that plum prosecco. Now, what can I get you, newcomer?
Yeah. What do you have then?
Beverages of distinction, or in some cases, extinction, if you ain't careful. How you feeling today? Lucky?
It's all booze? Wait, what was that? A drunken cloth. Yeah, I don't need any of that. Whew. Bastion, eh? A mixture of Nimrod and Master Mold.
That's the point. Uktar hardly wants his guards company.
That place is locked. That's a little merchant kid. Let's see. It was all counterfeit. Oh, if you guys are wondering what's going on here, I'm in like some kind of thieving guild place. Oh, a fish. I'll take that. Where'd that perception thing go?
Hello, stranger. No need to ask what I'm doing down here. It's a personal matter. Please, not a step closer. I lost a ring in the mud here, and I don't want you to step on it and bury it.
A ring? What if I take it instead? Coiled rope.
Something over there.
Oh, here we go. That must be it.
Yes, Yes, I'm still looking. This is important. I offered Lady Ague a ring, and she tossed it into the mud. There, I finally told somebody.
Oh, poor dude.
Doozy takes the ring, staring in amazement. No words escape his lips.
Hmm?
How much farther can I go?
I think you're gone. Disappeared. Oh. Alright, wasn't here. Save. Do I need to take a long rest? What the? Oh, okay, yeah, we've been here. Okay, let's just go back down there. Damn, he took off at the ring.
Heard it. One of Glitterbeer's lads telling tales. The Stone Lord got ate by a mimic and bust his way clean out.
All right, Tut. I think you've had enough.
Won't bloody hush, Foss. Told ya.
All right, Tut.
Mole!
Wow, look who it is. Glad to see you in the city. Hope you found plenty of coin in Ketterick's coffers. Ready to do some business? I survived the hells when Elturel fell. Compared to that, slipping out of Moonrise was child's play. Oh, I've got a few ideas. I'll be running this whole place in no time.
Oh, I found Mole.
Ready to do some business? Sure is. We work for Fetcher, handling what you might call pre-owned goods. Talk to Sticky. He'll cut you a deal. Ready to do some business?
Alright, we found Mole. The professor.
Right. Which crew are you with? Bellbreakers? The Children of Hor?
The names ring familiar. Two of the many crews that make up the Guild. A loose collective with ties to every criminal enterprise in the city's underworld.
In between scores, then? Oh, there's no shame in that. This Stone Lord business has even the bigger crews shutting up shop for a while. Fair warning, the Guildmaster wants no fraternizing with the Zhentarim. They're here to work, not share war stories. They won't be much use to us if they're drinking and dicing when the Stone Lord kicks the door down. The latest challenger to the Guild's position, but probably the first one to actually make us sweat. He came out of nowhere and ate up half our turf in a 10-day. So if you're speaking to the Guildmaster, maybe step soft around the topic.
Save.
Get used to us. I hear Nine Fingers' hunt is not going well. She needs us now more than ever. Missed the welcome parade, did you? Hugging, tears. It was just lovely. True, we've been better liked in towns we bloody conquered, but it's hard to blame Nine Fingers. On top, undisputed for years. Then you have to call the likes of us in to protect you from some shithead calling himself Stone Lord. I'd be embarrassed too.
Don't mind the ladies' court. Just a game we play. Figuring how we'll kill you if you cross Nine Fingers.
Okay.
You did not see me. A peer of the Parliament openly walking the Guildhall would sell a few copies of Baldur's Mouth, I expect.
No distractions, mate. Nine Fingers has me watching over Pierre Priss here. Wants her friends in Parliament close with this new Duke making moves.
Oh, yeah, people in Parliament.
A charm, of course. And then you'll do it yourself.
Bare hands.
What? Nine Fingers office.
Come to derail any other guild operations? Spit in my eye, perhaps? Or do you just need something? Oh. Did you enjoy the encounter? Charitable donation to the good protectors of Rivington. Was that the tune that played you? The rats usually keep a lid on their nastier notions, but with the Stone Lord business distracting me, some are starting to test the leash. All the more reason to be rid of the cult quickly, so I can remind my crews it's not a leash round their necks if they cross me. It's a noose. You have done plenty. Do any more, and the guild might have to take a special interest in you. Understood? Knowing what I know usually comes at a cost. But let's say we'll put it on your tab. The leader of some new crew that's intent on paining my arse. If he was just another upstart who didn't like paying guild dues, fair enough. But he and his crew make no demands. Leave no survivors to pass on the message. All I know is that on every scrap of ground he takes from me, the cult of the Absolute soon starts sprouting. Doesn't matter. Whatever god the prick prays to, I'll send him to meet it soon enough. Simple enough. After Jaheira warned me and then disappeared, I went nosing into the cult for myself. I could bore you with the details. how I found evidence of Gortash's projects, traced him to Orin the Red, and made a safe bet there was some dried-out old necromancer to round out the three. Because it's always the dead, bloody three. Has been half-gods who can't help but make their irrelevance everyone else's problem. Oh. You've got some juicy little tidbit I haven't heard yet. Huh. It seems like my intelligence on you was patchy at best. That's annoying. I had no intention of leaving my city in the Dead Three's hands. Definitely not leaving it to some slimy shit that doesn't even have hands. So, as long as you can keep a lid on what's growing inside you, we're allies. Until you can't, and we're not. Simple enough, I reckon. Now, war to be fought. You need anything?
Knife. A hot one, I think.
Devil's Fee Observer Report. This is the bar.
What's the point in paying the guild for protection?
Oh, we've already talked to her. Oh, the bar's right there. No entry, no exit. Best behave before I piss off the entire cult. Everything to do is on the other side.
Any news, Digger? No. Watch for the signal.
Find stolen gold. Oh, there's nothing in there. Oh, oops. Here. Wow. Aid the Underduke. Well, there's gotta be something I gotta do down there. It's gotta be on the other side of the sewers. Yeah, it's over there. Is there a way of getting over there? There must be a way of getting over there.
The Guild's no army, however tough they act. Just 20 different thieving crews come to hide behind Nine Fingers' skirts.
Old notes.
Go on. Technically, I'm supposed to be on watch.
Maybe that's why this Stone Lord is pushing so hard. He wants Keen's underroads all to himself.
Watch for the signal.
The other side. No, nothing down here. Oh, just a chest. Nice. We just literally went a goddamn circle. Okay, this is just the guild entrance. This isn't the other side of the sewer. Okay. Alright, let's listen to heavy spoilers for a bit.
I'm your host Paul. In this video we're breaking down X-Men 97. Episode 7's now out, and throughout this video we're going to try and be up to the task to bring you a big breakdown of the entry. Sinister. Sinister things are happening in the Marvel Universe, and throughout this video I want to be a bastion in breaking it down. This will cover Easter eggs, hidden details, and our theories for the future as we head towards that finale. We know the next 3 episodes are all part of a 3-parter called Tolerance's Extinction, and from this point it all kicks off. Heavy spoilers ahead, so if you haven't had a chance to check it out, then I highly recommend that you check out now. If you enjoy the video, please hit the thumbs up and make sure you subscribe for our breakdowns every week. But out of the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into episode 7. Now as always, we get a couple of additional shots in the opener. This includes a clip of Cable's war against Apocalypse, which is happening close to the Year 4000. Nimrod also continues his appearance from inside Master Mold, with us getting a shot of Bishop then taking him down. We'll talk about Nimrod and Bastion later in the video, but I feel like this is all leading towards Messiah Complex. Starting off at a graveyard, we see the funeral for Gambit and the fallen X-Men from the events of Genosha. Now the episode is titled Bright Eyes, which is summing up pulls from the original series. This went down in Time Fugitive Part 2, in which Rogue said it to Cable.
Remember me, Bright Eyes?
Cable has played a big part in the series, with us pretty much watching his origin story. It's always been a bit convoluted in the comics, and it was so complex that they even dropped covering it during Deadpool 2. They realised it was too much, and instead skipped over the planned flashbacks and images of Cyclops and Jean or Madeline in Cable's home in the future. Here though, they're going fully into it, with us seeing his birth and then his journey to the future. I love how when he came back, the first person he ran up to and stopped was Madeline, and it shows the true person he's trying to save, which is of course his mother. Now here we can catch Nightcrawler as the priest, with the character being heavily religious. He's often depicted as living in a church before joining the X-Men, with his appearance in X2 of course echoing that. The series also had that as well, with him lying low at one. The local villagers thought he was a demon, and in the end he was saved by Rogue and Gambit. So it makes sense why he'd want to lead this ceremony, and it's a somber way to start things off. Joining him are also the Assassin's Guild, with Belladonna being in attendance. The card puns are out in full force, and while they're grieving, Rogue's getting angrier than ever. And we then segue into a scene that was released early last night by the good folks at Phase Zero. Shout out to them, bloody great bunch of people, and it was awesome seeing them get an exclusive clip early. We really see Rogue tearing up shop, and sometimes you forget how overpowered she is. She absorbed the abilities of Captain Marvel and is capable of bringing it all down. Punching the ground, this knocks lots of soldiers down, with this being the powers that she took from Avalanche. She also busts out a kick that's a clear callback to a lot of things. This is based off her dive kick that was first introduced in X-Men vs Street Fighter and then later used in Marvel vs Capcom. You might know it as a rider kick or an Eva kick, with it appearing in lots of different things. Rider kicks are big moves, and seeing Rogue get hurt as well made it such a cool scene. Seeing the surveillance, we then cut out to see General Ross watching over the monitors. Talking about how this place was built to hold the Hulk, this location featured heavily in the Red Hulk storyline. I won't spoil who the Red Hulk is in case you haven't read it, but it took place after...
Uh-oh. Somebody's in here.
What was that? Glad you heard your noise. Glad so.
An intruder. These people are under my protection. I'll not let you harm them. Hearken to my words, wicked creature. Return to the pit of evil from whence you came.
Don't listen. Who knows what spells it weaves around us? Quickly, cleric.
Helm, protector of all, grant me the power to ignite this creature's flesh and burn its bones to ash. Begone, monster. Your hag mother holds no power here.
Ooh, just made it.
Wait! Clegg smells no lie.
Then you speak truth. You fought a hag before. At ease, everyone. We may have found ourselves an ally. Forgive the welcome. But we're being hunted by a hag. The vicious Ethel herself. We feared you, her minion. She's already hexed one of us. And any of us could be next. Because we dared to do the impossible. We dared to fight back. You see, all of us here have fallen victim to a hag's vicious ways. But instead of succumbing to despair, we rose above it. Thanks to Mayrina, our leader. Together, we've been helping others who've suffered at the claws of a hag. Only, Mayrina's been hexed by the very hag who now hunts us. You're the one that saved her. The one that ventured to the depths of Ethel's lair. I can hardly believe it. You look so... normal. By Helm, perhaps there is hope. If anyone can help Mayrina, it's you. She's upstairs. But be warned. She's not as you remember her. Vigilant one, your humble cleric seeks the power to defend these innocents against the hag.
Let's save. Something big is about to go down, probably, isn't there?
It ain't so bad. Could be a damn.
Sheep. Hey sheep, what can you tell me?
Listen to me. The doll. The doll. The doll. Find the doll.
What a strange-looking doll. What a strange-looking doll.
I know, but moaning isn't helping anyone, is it?
Helps me. Good to get it up.
What a strange-looking doll.
Always room for more?
What a strange-looking doll.
A humble cleric seeks the power to...
Grab all
The
that.
events of World War Hulk. Banner was put in a cell underground, but a new Red Hulk was roaming on the surface. They had to go to Banner for advice, with his cell being something that we visited. Breaking in, Rogue then mentions her father who raised her in Mississippi. Known as Owen, both her parents wanted her for nefarious things, so it makes sense they talked to her about breaking into prison. Cut to Scott talking to the UN, who we've learned have abandoned the rescue attempt. Due to optics, they can't help dig out the bodies, and we see Magneto's statue has been destroyed. Symbolically, this shows his fall there as well, with the character being seemingly killed last week by the Sentinel. Coming in, we see Jean with her hair down, and I was wondering if this was a cheeky misdirect. This used to be used as an indicator to retroactively show if it was Madeline, with the opening credits having her with that. The pair also held hands at the funeral, but it looks like they're just coming together. Checking over the reports, we see they come from WHIH News, with this being a big in-universe news station that are also part of the MCU. They cover a range of things and are pretty much the go-to for news reports in the Marvel Universe.
Listen, paying $14.99 a month for a streaming app and $9.99 a month for a
Dumbass
music
ads.
app and...
Verse. Scott says that in the wake of the mutant genocide, they need hope, which could be a reference to Hope Summers. That kind of takes us into Messiah Complex, which builds off the back of House of M. In what's one of the most famous panels in comic history, we watched as Wanda uttered the words "no more mutants." This led to the population of mutants going from millions to hundreds in just a blink of an eye. However, during Messiah Complex, mutant genes began to reactivate, with the first one of these being Hope Summers. Immediately drafted into a political war, she was seen as someone who could revitalize the mutants. The humans wanted her because they didn't want the mutants to come back, and there was lots of different sides battling over this girl. Attacked by the Purifiers in her hometown Alaska, we saw as these were led by the villain Nimrod. The Purifiers believed she'd wipe out countless humans during what they called the 6 Second War, leading to a rivalry between humanity and mutants. This belief is also held by Bishop, who aimed to stop Cable from saving the child, as it led into the dark future that Bishop had come from. The Marauders and X-Men were also seeking the child too, leading to a big power struggle in which both sides were attempting to get the first post-House of M mutant. Now, while it appeared Mr. Sinister was behind...
I clearly lack the power to keep the hag and her hexes away from Mayrina. A doll? I saw a curious-looking toy in some boxes upstairs, but I figured it the remnants of the previous tenants. None. The magic originates from a hag's twisted lair. Of that, I'm sure. But as to its cure, Helm has not revealed it to me. Helm, if I am not well, they'll all be aches.
Looks like a trap there.
Ooh.
On the hiring of Marauders, it was revealed to actually be Mystique. She was told by her former lover Destiny that if the baby touched Rogue, it would revive her from her coma. This led Mystique to employ the Marauders as Sinister to get the baby for herself. Thankfully, the baby survived the touch of Rogue, whilst also waking her up. Hope was then entrusted to Cable by Cyclops, and the pair went into the future, kind of akin to how Bishop travelled with Cable at the end of episode 3. Down the line, this led into Avengers vs. X-Men, which I'd love to see them adapting in further seasons of the show. And the Blackbird lands on Genosha, and we see the Blob, Pixie, and also Multiple Man. He's got his multiples doing multiple jobs, which I thought was a nice little touch. He played a big part of Messiah Complex, with 2 versions of him travelling into the future to report on what's happened. Beast also talks to Amelia Vaught, who is a member of the Acolytes. Giving a harrowing tale about how surviving isn't all it's cracked up to be, we see our lives have been completely destroyed by the attack. Following on from the reports at the X-Mansion, we see Patricia Tilby joining the scene. She and Beast have had a big romance in the comics, which we see blossoming here. From here we cut out to a massive cameo with Captain America and his old World War II bike being parked outside the hut. This is something that he rode in the first Avenger, with it being a big part of the action scene in the woods. So good seeing him in the episode, and it really helps to expand the Marvel Universe. He is of course an arm of the government, but like Rogue, he's went against them as well. Civil War seen him turning against the Superhuman Registration Act, with mutant registration also being a hot topic. On the lookout for Gyrick, we see a secret compartment below the cabin, which is akin to the reveal in Winter Soldier. There's databanks at the back, and it's a similar layout to the Secret Shield basement. Here we see on the screen there's OZT, which stands for Operation Zero Tolerance. Now the big villain going forward is obviously Mephisto. Now in the end we learn that it's Bastion, who is a former from Nimrod. I love that name Nimrod, because in the UK it's an insult, you bloody Nimrod. Anyway, Botomeos hinted at this on Twitter, and we saw the villain in the intro last week. Bastion was seen back in episode 4, and we could catch a photo of Forge standing next to the character. Now Bastion's a machine who's a fusion between Master Mold and Nimrod, the former of which we could see in the pair of the intro of last week. Bastion was part of Operation Zero Tolerance, which involves Sentinels wiping out the mutants. He's basically a mutant-hating machine who was embroiled in the Messiah Complex as its main antagonist who sought to wipe them out. This is what Rogue finds here, with it clearly being a reference to that. This might explain why Bastion was with Forge, and potentially the anti-mutant weapons that were designed by the character. Bastion's basically a mutant-hating machine who was embroiled in the Messiah Complex as its main antagonist who sought to wipe them out. Captain America's hands are tied though, and though he says where Gyrick is, he can't help out yet. Love how Rogue just throws away his shield with some proper kicking away the ball because you lost the game energy. Back on Genosha, we see Strongman and can also catch the character Forearm working in the back as well. Strongman says there's gonna be a war, so you better bloody stop bulking up, mate. Roberto doesn't really want to be involved with this stuff, and it's clear that he isn't ready for battle. He hasn't come out to his parents yet and wonders what would have happened if he died. They would have found out he was a mutant through that, and he argues that these attacks go ahead because people don't stay hidden. However, that's pretty stupid in the end, and you can't hide away forever who you are. So Jubilee tells him she'll go with him, and we see people mourning the dead. This includes the Morlocks, who have repeatedly appeared throughout the season. Magneto saved them in episode 2, and then seemingly died with them in episode 5. Beast quotes Martin Luther King in front of the destroyed Xavier head, symbolizing how his dream for mutant and humanity hasn't worked out. We see a real change in the character, and if they lose him, it shows how mutant kind might also decide to go to war. This change is shown metaphorically with Gyrick, who we see surrounded by butterflies. Butterflies are a symbol of change, with the mentality of the characters changing. However, some figures go through literal changes too, with Trask becoming a human sentinel. Anyway, Rogue confronts Gyrick, and he reveals he's been outfitted with anti-psychic tech. Rogue doesn't care though, and she absorbs him directly with us, initially getting a flash of Bastion. This then changes to Nimrod, which was its own transformation, just like the butterflies. Picking up on the psychic echoes, we see flashes of Genosha, including a shot of Madeline. Alongside it are Sebastian Shaw and Emma Frost, and it seems like Jean's seeing things through the eyes of rats. They would have been witness to the attack, and it then kind of segues into basically Cyclops and Jean going on a bit of a bummer. They haven't had the best of times, mate, and she references her seeming deaths at the hands of the Phoenix Force and so on. Finding Emma Frost, they then say that she activated her second mutant ability. This is the way that she can transform into a diamond form, which was invented by Grant Morrison. This went down because Morrison wanted to use Colossus in the scene, but they realized that they couldn't, so he just invented it that mutants could also have a second power, with her getting hers here. Emma is a psychic as well, so it explains why Jean was able to pick up on her. Getting a direct message from Bolivar Trask, he first appeared in Night of the Sentinels Part 2. After the Sentinel program was shut down, Trask ended up traveling to Genosha and he wanted to build Master Mold, but this ended up turning against him. The X-Men in the end stepped in to save the day, and he went into hiding until popping up at the start of episode 1 in the season. Now if you want to support the channel, then definitely check out our merch store below the video. We've just launched an X-Men 97 inspired t-shirt with a little nod to my favourite part from episode 1. As always, we have our Theory Time ones on there, and we've just dropped a brand new Game of Thrones inspired one as well to get you guys ready for the upcoming House of the Dragon Season 2. These t-shirts have been modelled and designed to accentuate the best part of your body, so they're tight around the chest and loose around the waist. You're gonna look bloody fantastic, mate, and huge thank you to everyone who's picked one up so far. Now Trask wants them to come to Madripoor, which is a big location in the Marvel Universe. This crime-infested locale is one of Wolverine's haunts, with it being a place that showed up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Across with Roberto, we see him going to his parents' penthouse, which is adorned with butlers and Jackson Pollock-type paintings. His parents' company was referenced in episode 1, where we could see a sign for them up in Times Square. His mother's accepting of it though, and said she always knew, with parents being more accepting of stuff like that these days. Most, but it's clearly a metaphor for coming out, with this also being something explored in X2. However, she wants him to keep it quiet, showing that she perhaps isn't as tolerant and supportive as she'd like to be. Cutting to Rogue, we then see Nightcrawler coming across her. It's the Day of the Dead, but whereas this is normally supposed to be a time of acceptance, Rogue can't do it. Maybe you shouldn't have kissed Magneto in front of Gambit then, love. You ruined his last moments. Good thing I'm not there, mate, because I'd have ruined it as well, but Nightcrawler says Rogue helped them live. Cutting to Gyrick, we then see Bastion arriving. Voiced by Theo James, he sounds more sinister than sinister, and the first act we see him doing is killing Gyrick. Cutting to Madripoor, we see signs for VistaCorp, who own the news station of WHIH. The Hammer Tech building is also there too, and we also have Horizon Labs. This is a big company in the Marvel Universe, with it predominantly appearing in Spider-Man. Using another secret gateway, we see the hybrid of humanoid sentinels, and more things pointing towards Operation Zero Tolerance. Quoting Oppenheimer after he made the atom bomb, Trask reveals that he's unwittingly ushered in a new dawn of destruction. He brings up how Sinister's been working on Trask, and this explains why Bastion needs him. We have talked about Sinister a hell of a lot earlier in the season, but here's a quick rundown in case you missed that. As Morph mentioned, he was a scientist in the 1800s and he went under the name Nathaniel Essex. Obsessed with evolution, he studied Darwin but had his own theory time about what was going on. Essex believed that evolution stemmed from untapped powers, and he believed evolution could alter humanity. Now, at the time in his personal life, Nathaniel was married to a woman named Rebecca, but unfortunately the pair had lost their only child. That was the driving force for him to try and find a way to improve humanity so that others wouldn't have to deal with that kind of pain. After the death of his son, he brought his findings to the rest of the other scientific minds, who kicked him out of the club due to what he wanted to do. He believed human experiments were fair game because, in the end, the discoveries would improve the species. So he assembled a gang known as the Marauders, who took homeless people and gave them to him so he could carry on his work. One of these was Daniel Summers, who I'm guessing you can figure out who it is he's related to. Sinister would become obsessed with the family and study several of them and the untapped power in their genetics. Rebecca came across the experiments and discovered that Essex had dug up their son's body and worked on him too. Pregnant at the time, she then went into labour and lost too much blood in the process. Her final words condemned him for his sinister double life, and she said he was very sinister, which, hey, she said the name, Sinister. It was at this time that he came across Apocalypse, who wanted to create a worldwide plague that would kill most of humanity. This is the techno-organic virus, which we saw Nathan infected with. Only the strong would survive, and it would reshape the world for Apocalypse. However, in a twist of fate, Sinister used it on Apocalypse, who had to return to hibernation in order to heal his wounds. Realizing he'd need someone who could combat the villain, he cloned Jean Grey in order to have it so she'd have a kid with Cyclops, who could then be the most formidable mutant to stand against the villain. Sounds like a long one, but that's it, and it's probably going to lead us into the Messiah Complex story down the line. Now, Rogue drops Trask like people drop likes on the video, and it again shows how the mutants aren't playing around. They don't want to work together anymore and would rather just kill some peeps, but we see how this leads into something worse. Revived as a human sentinel, Trask goes on the attack and then destroys the building. During some of the flashes, we can catch Stark Industries, which we get during the falling shots. Transforming into Quicksilver, we see as Morph takes on his powers, which wasn't something I was aware that could happen. I'd just be Apocalypse the whole time, mate, and one-shot everyone. Saved by Cable, though, he's got futuristic weapons, which are capable of taking down the Sentinels with ease. In the future, Cable was fighting a war against Terminator-like machines, which were under the direction of Apocalypse. So it makes sense that he'd be able to do this with it all going down in Time Fugitive.
You removed my hex. That's annoying. I wanted to play a little longer. Auntie likes her toys broken. She's not going to be happy I had to get my hands dirty.
Uh-oh.
I don't matter. Only Auntie does. I know you wish to hurt Auntie Ethel. I know the book is here. I will die before I let you touch a hair on her head. Ha! You have no idea how wrong you are. I have worshipped her for decades past, and will for decades more.
It's just this dude.
Another fight. Let's go.
lying, thieving, scaly little shit! Thanks for knifing the bastard. That makes twice you've saved me. I'm starting to think you're my guardian angel. Thanks. But my mouth tastes like mutton, and I'm itching in hard-to-reach places. I'm gonna make the witch that did this pay, and I have the means to do it. This group is made of survivors. People like me who've been hurt by hags. I brought them together to fight back. And it worked. The shitty Red Cap proves it. Ethel is here. Ah, now that I can help you with. Check the safe in the back. I've done my homework on hags since we last tangled with Ethel. And take whatever you need. I know it by heart, anyway.
Excellent. All right. I got something to look forward to. Okay, everybody. That does it for this little stream. I just wanted to quickly chat about how X-Men 97 got a little intense there. I'll probably talk to you guys later on. Peace out.